excuse me, I'm hungry, I need something to eat. I'm just hungry, I need something to eat. I'm wondering if you had anything to eat at all.
No, I don't, but I can give you a couple of dollars.
That's so kind of you. Tom?
Yeah?
Samuel.
Samuel? Okay.
Thank you. Truth is, I actually don't want this. I want to give this to you. Have a lovely day, yeah?
'Cause sometimes I look in her eyes, and that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine, and said I moved on. I'm only here passing time.
Here you go.
25-year-old Cecia Abigail Barres was having one of those days at her restaurant when in walked a homeless man she had seen many times before. He was asking for money.
So I'm like, I'm not just gonna give him a couple of dollars or food today. I want to know about him.
What she found out is that he was a convicted felon with a tough backstory. But instead of sending him out the door, she invited him further in.
I said, Marcus, would you like to stay a couple of hours? You want a job? You want to work? I have one for you. He got so happy. The moment his face just, I was like, it made my heart smile when he made that face.
Before Marcus got to work doing dishes, she gave him a meal, and he turned around and shared it with a homeless friend just outside.
From then on, that's when I just made the decision that I was going to ask him to keep coming.
Since I see the officer down, I was concerned about the guy like grabbing the officer gun and shoot the officer.
That's Navarro in the camouflage sweatshirt.
I punched the guy from the back, but I feel like it didn't do anything. Like he was like super strong, like he didn't even feel it.
Navarro says he shouted for help, and two other drivers quickly ran to the officer's aid.
kill you! Oh, I want to kill you! You're so Asian!
Yeah, and you bumped our car! What the is wrong with you?
This incident happened on May 13 while in line at a Van Nuys McDonald's drive-thru. Weber is accused of rear-ending the vehicle of mother and daughter Narissa and Patricia Roque. He then drove up beside their vehicle and started shouting, making those racial comments. The two women accused Weber of trying to open their car door, threatening to kill them.
From New York City, punching her 125 times.
And that lady, she bothers nobody.
To the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah, we're scared.
Our community feeling a lot of fear and a lot of pain.
1 year after the Atlanta spa shooting, Asian Americans still feel under attack.
Arkansas police officials have been sent on leave after a video shared on social media unmasked police brutality. We're advising viewer discretion because what you see on your screens is extremely disturbing.
Walking around, bitch! Go to work, fucker! Alright? I'm tired about you, motherfucker, bitch! Go to fucking work! I'm working, I'm 63 and I'm still working, fucker! Fucking bitch! Walking around,
Jury selection is underway for the trial of the suspected Pittsburgh synagogue mass shooter. He's accused of shooting 11 people in an anti-Semitic attack. The trial comes as hate crimes against Jewish Americans are on the rise.
Tonight, we have learned that the FBI has arrested a heavily armed man accusing him of threatening to kill Michigan government officials who are Jewish. State Attorney General Dana Nessel says the FBI told her she was one of his targets.
The thought, the feeling that you don't belong, the feeling that you have to prove yourself consistently, and we shouldn't be. Our people are getting attacked, our people are getting harassed, spat on, beat up, slashed. Please somebody pay attention. Please, notice us. Give me confirmation that, I am American too.
So one curiosity I have is, how is it that two people can respond to a singular stimulus in different ways? So what is it about person A who comes upon a homeless person at 9 o'clock in the morning and wants to buy them a meal, and person B comes upon the same homeless man and verbally wants to beat the shit out of them? So I want to introduce the notion of trigger and cause before moving on. So Shakespeare said, an event is neither good nor bad, only thinking makes it so. So how does this relate to love and empathy and compassion on the one hand, or hate and cruelty and mean-spiritedness on the other? So I just want to be clear that in this discussion, the folks I'm referring to generally fall within the mid-range of a normal curve or a bell curve. I'm not speaking about people who manifest extreme forms of love or extreme forms of hate. I'm talking about folks in the middle of a normal curve. Although it's my subjective and judgmental opinion that it seems to me that elements of hate and mean-spiritedness and cruelty are becoming more and more mainstream these days. So it's also my judgment and opinion that individuals who are brought up in an environment where love and empathy and compassion are the order of the day in terms of how children are being raised, and children who are raised in environments where mean-spiritedness, cruelty, and hate are the order of the day won't change. There are extremes on either end of the normal curve, as you just read, where people do change. But for me, those are the exception that prove the rule. And so if someone is nurtured and raised and developed to be loving and nurturing and empathetic, chances are they'll be that way throughout their life. And if someone is born to be raised and developed to live a life of mean-spiritedness and cruelty and hate, chances are, in my estimation, that's the way they'll live the rest of their lives. So I'm not talking about extremes on either end of the normal curve. So what I want to do now is list some characteristics, qualities, conditions, and elements, positive and negative, which, if incorporated into a child's upbringing, can lay the foundation for their development as adults, who naturally express love, empathy, and compassion, or hate, mean-spiritedness, or cruelty. So I'm just going to list these as descriptors or phrases. And I've also created an addendum to this video, about a 14-page document in which I go into each of these in more detail. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how you can get to this on my website and download it if you choose. So I'd like to end with a suggestion, or rather a call to action. And that is to read an article called "Why Don't Most Parents Teach the Golden Rule?" It's an article published by the folks at the Greater Good Science Center at the University of California in Berkeley in their Greater Good magazine. You can also Google the article and read it online. The Golden Rule, treating others as you want to be treated, is one of the oldest and most universally agreed upon moral principles in human history. The spirit of this ethical principle or maxim has helped prevent violence, discrimination, exploitation, and starvation. As of 2022, there are 11,355 public and private schools in the U.S. that cover grades K to 12, 90% of which emphasize social emotional learning. So I think it's critical that each of these schools consciously and intentionally raise the visibility and awareness of the Golden Rule, and most importantly, providing parents and primary caregivers at home with the resources they need to support, to teach, and model the Golden Rule at home. For me, home is the root cause of most folks learning to be loving, empathetic, and compassionate, or hateful, mean-spirited, and cruel. So the intention here is to create a future where folks are treating one another as they want to be treated, and emphasizing the ideals of love, compassion, and empathy, or a future grounded in hatred, mean-spiritedness, and cruelty. It's that simple. So there it is. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video and ask if you would share it with others whom you think it may support to help them grow and develop and become more conscious. So as always, I wish you well in your journey and take good care. So to get to the addendum, go to truenorthpartnering.com, and when you get to truenorthpartnering.com, over in the top right, click on Articles, and scroll down to Spirituality, Spirituality at Work. And you'll come upon the article, Shaping Our Souls, the Dance of Love and Hate. And you click on that to open it, and you can read it there or download it if you wish.